All right, artists, so this is the tutorial for how to do the first of our macrame knots, which is called a clove hitch. For this, you're going to need 3 colors of yarn, and I want you to get about, once you've done the knot, which if you're not sure how to do, go watch the first video on how to get started. I want you to have probably about 10 inches or so, something that'll be a little bit like a hand and a half if you don't have a ruler, but about 10 inches should be good for what we're doing. And then you get to save the rest for later. So for these 3, what you'll start off with, if you have tape, you can use tape. I would recommend using tape. If you don't have tape, you can always get something like a clipboard or even just get something kind of heavy that you can tuck that knot underneath to make sure that it doesn't move around on you. I like tape better. Put the tape right on the knot, tape it down, nice and secure. Now with your leftover strings, you're going to pick one to start with. That's going to go off to the side. Put a little bit of tape on the other 2. Keep those you don't want to pull it so tight that it's going to pull the tape off, but you want it, kind of firm so it's not swishy all over the place. So this first knot, the clove hitch, is pretty simple. You're going to start off with your string on one side, from one side of the other ones. You're going to go across, but leave a little loop here. That's going to travel over, go underneath your string. So you have first part going over, circle around to go under, and you're going to grab it from inside this little loop area. Make sure it's inside that loop. It is not an S. You do not want the S. You want the O for okay. Grab that, start to pull it, but don't pull it too tight right away. You want to slide that knot all the way to the top, and then you can pull it nice and snug. So it's over, under, up through the loop. Slide it all the way up. Over, underneath, up through the loop. And you'll notice as you do this that the yarn is going to want to start to flip to the other side. It'll start doing that by itself. It should. That's okay. You're doing it correctly. As you keep going, once you get after maybe 4 or even 5, the yarn's going to want to flip all the way onto the other side. What you want to do at that point, since it wants to go on this side, let it go there, but then tuck it underneath. So it's back to the same side. You always want to start it on the same side. So we did 5. Let's do 6, 7. We'll go and do 8. 8 sounds good. So if you look really close at this, let's see if I can get down nice and close. Ooh, there we go. You'll notice that it starts to make this little bump, and that bump kind of twists around the center part of it, which is what you want. It creates almost like a little spiral staircase that goes all the way around. And if you kept going with the same color, you would continue to see that twist all the way around it. But now we're going to switch our colors. So let's back up just a little. There we go. To switch your colors, very easy. All you got to do, loosen up your tape, take another color, and trade it out. Put the red one down there, have our next color, and then we just keep going from there. Over, underneath, up, through that loop. If you do not see this little spiral happening, if it's not making that bump, if all you're seeing is that your yarn looks like it's twisting around it, that means that when you're pulling to the end of the string, it is not going through that loop. You have to make sure that you go over, under, and grab it inside of that loop. Not on the outside, inside. 3 and 4. We'll do another 8. But like before, when we got to 5, our yarn wants to flip over, so we will let it. Tuck it back underneath so it's on the correct side again. And we'll do those last 3 of them. And 8. Now we'll switch that. Part of the reason you want to switch is that you'll notice as you start doing this that your yarn is going to start getting shorter. Our yellow is still pretty long. That's because as you're wrapping these knots around it, it's using up more of this color. These 2 colors have been used more than the yellow. So if I were to keep going with just one of these colors, it would end pretty quickly. So we switch the colors so that the length of each of these stays pretty even. Over and through. And as you get faster at this, you'll be able to start doing it without thinking too much. It's a great project if you've got some Netflix binging that you're doing, or if you are listening to some music. It's just a nice quick thing that you can do. I'd like to see you try to get at least your 3 colors on there. So 1, 2, and 3. Take a nice close-up picture so we can see those little edges on it. And that's how we do our single clove hitch.